The I Ching is a living transmission of the divine, of consciousness. The I Ching, the Book of Change, is a map of the 64 changing cosmic frequencies of life, of consciousness. This is an ancient wisdom from thousands of years ago that was used to track and harmonize with the forces of nature in order to guide the people, an empire, a civilization. In the 1960s, humanity discovered the 64 genetic codons, our DNA. Magically, they have the same mathematical formula, the same exact geometry as the 64 I Chings. Every 6 days, the sun activates one of these 64 I Ching frequencies, which activates within us a corresponding genetic codon, which stimulates our consciousness, the theme of the life. When we enter into contemplation with a particular I Ching, especially with the I Ching the sun activates each week, then life sends us the experiences we need to unlock the shadow, which raises our vibration and awakens the divine within. The intention of this video is to serve you in the highest blessed way. This is abstract energy of sensing, so receive this message with your heart and body. This week, the sun within us, our consciousness, life, is activating the 19th I Ching. The transformational path of this frequency moves us from the shadow of codependence to the highest vibration of sacrifice, and it's through the path of sensitivity. If you go to the theater, the movies, or watch a good TV show, the show you're watching completely possesses you. You become one with it as you watch it. You become absorbed in the drama, the characters, and the storyline. As we watch, we become possessed. We experience many feelings like anticipation, worry, fear, joy, and yet it's all an illusion. It's all fabricated. And if you go behind the scenes, behind the curtains, there you will find the director, the actor, the stagehands, the camera crew, and equipment. You will see so many of them holding scripts, practicing their lines. So many people, so much effort made just to trick us. And our lives are the same as this. We don't see behind the scenes. We don't realize that events are choreographed in other realms. We don't realize that we and all those around us are wearing costumes. We don't see that there's a director, stagehand, and a script. And sometimes the director and the scriptwriter spontaneously decide to change the script, and then the storyline changes just like that. It's an extraordinary trick we're living in. We're all woven into the fabric made out of dreams. And the reason we're so easily hoodwinked, so easily tricked, is because of our attachments, because of our codependence. We agree unconsciously to support each other's illusion on this earthly dimension. Earth is a school. We're here to learn, and eventually we learn to stand alone, which means we have to break free from all our codependence with everything around us. And this is what happens when we die. When we die, we suddenly awaken. We suddenly remember that this was just a script, a dream, and you can look back and see how you did. Just like in the movies. In the movies, we get to see what other characters don't get to see. For example, in the movies, we see the villain plot against the hero behind his back. And so it is with us. There are forces literally intended against us. I'm not trying to confuse you or make you feel uncomfortable, but open up your awareness, your heart to other dimensions. And those forces inhibit the shadow consciousness field. They exhaust all our precious life force. Like vampires, they feed on our desires. And on the other side, there are beings of light, like angels. They are more respectful. They intervene when it's utterly necessary, when they're being called out from the depths of one's being. The universe is teeming with life forms. They are all here alongside us, and we are all caught up in the web of the drama. And this may sound like a naive tale to some, but psychologists can say the same thing with different language. I prefer the language of the shaman, as it's aligned with my inner truth. Codependency is not just a psychological word referring to our relationships. It has many subtle layers and levels to it. We feed other life forms and they feed on us. And the human aura emits a wide range of emanations on different frequency bands. For example, when you take hallucinogenic, you will experience some of the other vibrations. Same thing when you get drunk. Also, when you get triggered in an argument, you will experience other vibrations and dimensions. Same thing when you sit quietly by the side of the river. There is as many realms as there are creatures. This is the theater of Gaia. So what does this all teach us? Well, for one, we're here to learn to loosen our codependence, our attachments, with the energetic environment in which we live. Our codependence is with our thoughts, our thought forms, our belief structures, our opinions. Our codependence is also our emotional patterns, our unconscious belief that we're a victim or that we can behave badly and get away with it. We never can. The bad always pays. The good is always rewarded. Justice is written into the script. We just don't always see the full picture. The dilemma of the 19th shadow of codependence is an odd one. It's heresy. The heretic is one that breaks patterns, who speaks out against the status quo. The heretic is the one that goes it alone, the one that is willing to shatter the fabric of his or her world in order to see more. It's a dilemma because it takes heresy to break out of the world of codependence, to see behind the scenes. Often people think of themselves as heretical. We'd like to think that we're open-minded, but usually we're not. Typically, we're fixated with our worldview. What is required is deep, deep self-awareness to break free, to escape our karma, the web of our emotional, mental, and physical patterns woven all around us by our karma, incarnation, and this 19th shadow. Heresy has to throw everything out. It can hold a worldview, but it must be seen as limiting and ultimately false. This 19th I Ching is about initiations, in opening up our mind and heart to other realms, to other behaviors and dimensions, which equal other possibilities. Life can be going in a certain direction, but the script can always change at any moment. The 19th gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration, sensitivity. So after taking in deeply that the world that we see is all an illusion, what do we do with that? Well, the purpose of this wisdom is to bring us into the world of form, not just take us up into other dimensions. What the shaman learns is that everyday life is the full life. All dimensions can be accessed and affected by your behavior right now. Think about your dream life. Every night you enter the other world. You take off your clothes and you enter the behind world of consciousness. The borders of time and space soften, and yet you carry your day with you. Your day imprints your dream life, and your dream life imprints your next day. There is a continuum that is magical. The gift of sensitivity is not to be confused with oversensitivity or hypersensitivity. Sensitivity is strength. Oversensitivity is an affliction imprinted by the shadow frequency. We can re-imprint any of these patterns given enough time and deep self-love and patience, which then changes our experience. The 19th gift is the gift of healing. It knows how to heal itself because it knows what it needs. The 19th gift doesn't allow one to burn out. It knows the secret of balance, how to feed one's own needs and balancing them with the needs of others. Sensitivity also grows. It grows as we grow. As we allow the heresy of our clear mind and heart to penetrate life, so it will begin to loosen our attachments to the drama around us. Then we move closer into life, closer to the other. We begin to lean into situations instead of trying to shun them or hide from them. Sensitivity actually makes us more human as we learn to honor the whole of life. Sensitivity helps us deal with group dynamics. Oversensitivity is the inability to maintain our own integrity with group dynamics. So sensitivity enables us to be with people. As we learn to parent ourselves, learn to ask for help and support when we need it, and learn to let go of resentments. Our sensitivity literally is our coming alive, a rejoining of the human race. It's a settling in with all creatures and beings. Many times we think of sensitivity as a problem, more likely to harm us than to be healing. To say that someone is a sensitive person can mean that they're overly emotional, explosive, or reactive. This has nothing to do with the gift frequency, the gift of sensitivity. This is the gift of opening, yes, to other realms. The true sensitive leans into you as a fellow human. They wait for you to open, and if you're lucky, they will share with you some of the things they see. The original name of this 19th I Ching hexagram is called approach, a beautiful, simple word, approach. The sensitive person learns the art of approach. They know how to approach things in the right way. They don't rush into sacred space. They may linger at the portal. They don't rush to greet a stranger. They will allow the person to approach them at the speed that they're comfortable with. The sensitive person doesn't talk so much. They're more of a listener. With animals, they know the whole secret. It's about the approach. You don't instigate the touch. You wait for the animal to feel its own trust, and then you allow it to touch you. If you have the 19th I Ching in your energetic design, then you have this treasured gift. First, heal yourself. Learn to approach life in a way that is gentle and meets your primary needs. And make sure you're being fed by life. It's your responsibility. Codependency is when the relationships don't feel balanced. Your sensitivity knows where the imbalance is, so you need to address it openly and sensitively. Sensitivity learns fast as it learns from insensitivity. We all say and do things that hurt others, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not. So sensitivity is an art we learn. When we learn it, we feel strong, so connected to life, the whole of life. The 19th city, the highest vibration, sacrifice. Heresy always leads to sacrifice until the day the human mind loses its power over life. There are different kinds of sacrifice. There is the lower sacrifice, the self-sacrifice, where one gives away one's power for the sake of the other. This sacrifice is not really healthy. If you damage yourself deliberately by serving another, there's no real honor in that. The higher sacrifice takes place internally. We sacrifice our lower impulses for the higher impulses. We fuel that which is highest in our nature rather than those impulses that lower our frequency. So speaking ill of others is a good example. All the paths to the cities, the highest vibrations, are always the path of sacrifice. We have to sacrifice our negativity, our negative projections of others and the world. In fact, to reach the highest vibrations, we even sacrifice our positive projections. To move beyond good and evil, we must step out of the drama altogether. It's to sacrifice our position as a player in the game. At the city, the highest vibration, it's often the sacrifice of not speaking. It is the willing to be misunderstood. The greatest sacrifices are rarely seen. This planet is the planet of sacrifice. Everything is interconnected through sacrifice, through the chain of death and rebirth. When you have given of yourself for the sake of the whole, for the sake of Gaia, then you will know. You will pass through the portal of initiation and be forever transformed. I empower you this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations fully that come up in the body this week. Shine the light of awareness to oversensitivity or shutting down. I want, I need. Feel the sensations deeply within the body. Breathe into them all the way down past the belly. Love yourself and be blessed.